leave the Valentina open. I think they're expecting the Valentina won't get picked up by Onyx, as you usually want to pair up heroes such as the Kimmy with this Marcel, sometimes the Eve, so that you get a longer box of lockdown so your opponents can't get away. Falcons, I love this Esmeralda pickup. The Hirara this early on, I feel like this is just a lot of respect onto Kyrie and the capabilities of that hero. Again, a lot of players, pro or normies like us, say Hirara is broken.
And she doesn't require the same level of execution to be effective, and those iframes are proving to be big either baits, big either opportunities to go in and get that extra kill and get out.
Yeah.
They're things that I feel like now, after an entire tournament of seeing, we thought Ling might compete. Fanny's banned much too often and requires such a high skill ceiling to perform. But Hirara seems like by far the most standard best pick, and that's why we're seeing the grab there. But they do take the Valentina away if that was a choice that Falcons wanted to go to later on.
And this pick right here with the Harley has become the answer to the Hirara. It's become the possibility of defeating it. And the big thing is it can keep its range, right? It can target down. It can go against it in the Turtle or Lord pit. But I do think there's also a big risk with this pick. If it takes a big hit early on in the game in the first 5 minutes, you don't see much action until late game at that point. Don't get me wrong, it still does have a decent late game. Once that Holy Crystal, once that 4th or 5th item gets locked in, there's possibility for damage and still kill pressure in late game. There's early game pressure, but again, if it gets a death or two, you're kind of locked in for only late game possibilities.
Yeah, which is why you see the roam pickup on the glue for Team Falcons here, because if you go back just a few months ago with all of the Harleys and Leomords and Suyos that we saw in the jungle, glue roam is hot commodity because of how quickly you can help clear the mid lane, and it encourages an early invade after you clear the first wave in mid, whether you're going to go to the orange buff or purple buff, but most of the time teams love to go in the purple buff. Surprising here though that Falcons are reading Onyx as the possibility of picking up a Ruby. So that might be a little bit of a teacher the mindset of Falcons, wherein they might be a little bit more close range and clumped up together. One pick they have to watch out for here in the gold lane is the Granger of Kelra. That pairs very well with the Marcel, and together with the Harley scales up way too quick.
Well, I think I was first going to ask this question before we saw the ban come out. Claude, do you respect the ban? Because that's what Super Marco did yesterday to start turning the games around. He had that moment where they dove him, got the turtle, got the shield back up, and then turned it back into a 2-0 win. And that won the game. The ban comes out immediately for Mono.
And what makes that so interesting is earlier on in this tournament, the Claude kind of fell off. And it just goes to show how much of a comfort pick this can be for some of the gold laners still in this tournament. Even a hero that a lot of other teams couldn't pull off, Super Marco is just a menace on. So very well done by Onyx, I think, calling that out. Eudora also goes down, which could have been a great stiff arm to this Harley. One of the few heroes who can quick stun it still. Falcons now, all bans off the table. They are on the gun for first pick and second phase.
I think they save up their mid lane pick for later. They need to see the gold laner of Onyx get picked up first. I think just go ahead and pick up your mid. Oh wait, not mid laner. Excuse me, gold laner. There you go. Pick up for Falcons. They need a little bit more range. So it makes sense why they ban out the Sora and the Ruby. You get the glue and the Esmeralda together in the front line. Of course,
team Falcon banning Freya, Fanny, Uranus, Ruby, Sora.
You need something in the back. Now the mid lane pick of Falcons will either be something static with a strong box such as an Eve, or the Vexana.
We have been seeing Falcons enjoy picking up
another
one, very something similar range. They've opted out of the two big, backline mages with the Eve or the Farza. They have opted for the Farza sometimes, the burst damage that it supplies. They could use Shred, though, with the Eve. I think because they already have so much burst on their side, could definitely be the option. The Granger gets locked in from the side of Onyx. We saw how well Kelra was able to play that before. Another hero that other teams aren't using, but Kelra is making it a monster.
Yeah, again, perfect pairing with them.
I don't know why they big.
Time you mentioned Farsa, that would be great. Loyi wouldn't be that bad either, but if you're looking at comforts, I think I'm going to have to double down on what you said, Trex. The Farsa looks good here.
Loyi, I was thinking it. The only risk is the Harley against it, but against with their lineup, the Jushin's still open. Execution's still open.
I thought they'd want to get more long-range burst and poke, but they're
பேசும்
doubling
போதே
down on
வாய்ஸ்
crowd
காணாம
control in
போகுது.
the center of the
நான் என்ன
map. That's
பண்றது?
interesting.
Crowd control has been key in this
Esmeralda.
meta. It's been
Esmeralda
the
versus
thing that
Pogba.
has
Yeah,
been a menace
actually.
to so many teams. This is a crowd controlled meta at its core.
Well, there was a lot of bans targeting the EXP lane, and we have a chance now to see Phoveus let through, and that'll be interesting. Can he do enough on the Onyx? We know how the Marcel has
Keyboy,
been dominant
Marshall,
early, has
Kelra,
lost
Granger.
a couple times
Bakla.
late. But this is Onyx and Team Falcons PH, their last chance to make their final statement before M8. It all comes down to this: $100,000 on the line for this third place match. But more so than that, the pride of the Philippines and Indonesia. Expectation versus reality. Let's kick off our finals day here for MSC and send it over to our casters, Daisu and Leo.
After many matches in almost 2 weeks, it lead us to this point. It's a third place match, a battle of pride, but also a whopping $100,000 between third and fourth place finishes here. We'll find out who gets the victory. It's me, Nice Leo, to bring you this best of 5. And later on, the grand final is going to be amazing too. But this one is a rematch, Leo, all the way back from M5.
That was almost 3 years ago where they took it all the way to 7 games. Here tonight, they might be able to take it all the way to 5 games. We're expecting a slobber knocker between these former champions of their respective regions. Flap here gets caught out, flickering through. Haji with the flare looking for the choke down. Lifts up Keyboy and puts him down just as quickly. Kyle with the steal. Oh my lord, a minute in. Attempted
to steal.
Can Kyrie stop him? Oh, he does.
He got it. All right, Kyrie secured it. Kyle's going to be able to get away here. It was
Guys,
interesting too in the draft.
second
because
பண்ணிட்டா அவரோட இத வந்து second
I
பண்ணிட்டா.
remember correctly
So,
yesterday,
பிரச்சனை
it was multiple times. Oh, hold on. All right, quicker burn. Keyboy should be, yeah, he's fine. He's on the Marcel. He's got enough mobility, but they went with this first pick, Marcel, who's kind of slipped through some of the drafts. He's been either banned out or teams have gone and picked him up. But it was Onyx that picked up the Harara multiple times throughout yesterday's match.
Speaking of the Herrera, Kyle here put down to a quarter of his health. Ogwin stopping the backup from coming through. It's not just Onyx who has this identity. Even Falcons, you see them play the Esmeralda once again, the glue in Ogwin's hands that, 2 games in a row dismantled Yangon Galacticos or the Burmese Ube. And then they still have Haji on the very high prio Zushin, who in the hands of Kaiser yesterday was the finisher. He was the MVP for sure of game number 5. We see here Haji in trouble. Crimson flare back, and that's one major tool out for this turtle.
Yeah. They want to fight for this first objective here. Some tools already used. Sans has his own beacon that he can play into. So they've got control around this turtle. I'm not sure if Falcons really wants to do too much. Kyle's trying to get his purple buff, but they may be forced into a fight here.
Oh, Kyle secures his own purple. But then again, the retribution was short. Kyrie secures. Now Ogun flickers back. No harm, no foul. No casualties just yet, but on it gets the big one.
Yeah, they get the objective. Looks like
Match boss? ஏண்டா யோ நான் நோட் பண்ண வரைக்கும் ஆடிக் பேசற மட்டும் அப்பப்ப வந்து கேம் பாஸ் பண்றாங்க என்னன்னு தெரியல
it's like this push and pull factor
இவங்க ஏதோ சோலி ஏதோ பாக்குறாங்களா
jungle meta is and it's fallen into. I mean, we heard Kyle
technical
share
pass.
some of his thoughts
என்ன technical pass புரியல எனக்கு
exactly how he feels about the jungle meta.
I'd say that's partially true, but half of that truth to make a better picture is it's just these 2 teams.
It's rare
that you see a full-on Titans of Southeast Asia clash in MSC. Look back at the last 2 weeks, Joseph. Look back at the last 2 weeks.
I'm looking back.
You see Yangon Galacticos with their own little flavor, Team Spirit
with their own,
with the the Dragon Davai play style, and then you have the likes of Vamos and Pro who are just oh so aggressive. This is the first time we're seeing 2 full-on, I'd say it's safe to say now, macro-centric lineups clash.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing such a surgical first.
I mean, again, they came into this matchup in high spirits. Got to see some of the antics on stage as they both came out, of course. But one thing's for sure, in the game, in this best of 5, they're going to lay it on the line. We already talked about how it's that pride factor, but also the difference in terms of money. I mean, $100,000, man. In Philippine pesos, I think that's around 6 million pesos. In IDR,
Don't even get me started.
I think like almost 2 billion, something like that. It's like almost 2 billion.
It's life-changing money.
It's life-changing money even at this point.
And the fact that they can keep the brevity, you know, harken back to their brotherhood, harken back to how far they've come and how many times they've played with each other. They decide to dance in their entrance. Like, that's just the kind of athletes and just young men they are, how much they love MLBB while still acknowledging the stakes.
Yeah. I mean, they did mention that, you know, again, off of the land, they're the best of friends, right? It's always sometimes. I would say the cooling interviews, that's one thing why I love, you know, when we get a chance to see Kid Bomba, for example, talk, you know, the way he speaks and the way he kind of, even his messages to the opponents, you know, a little bit more than the good luck, have fun, you know, that we see. But of course, when it comes down to the in-game, that's where you really see it kind of come to fruition here between both these teams. And as we wait a little bit longer to jump into this one, you know, that first game really kind of sets the pace of the entire series. But also, you know, for example, Falcons had to go through yesterday. You know, this sometimes in some cases a reverse sweep where it's you're down 0-2 and you got to come back to it. So it looks like we are back into the game. Let's go to jump back into this one. We're just under 3 minutes into this one, this first match again in this best of 5.
A minute and a half till Turtle spawns lower quarter. Not much of a distance. Flap and Lutpi have to go through. And if I'm reading the map correctly, I think Kyle might try to go ahead and play their side of the map a little more, since that first attempt at Grant the Purple kind of cost them.
Yeah, it didn't happen, right? But I feel like, too, when you just have the Harara, you're kind of allowed to do that. You just got so many ways to move across the map and kind of avoid things, you know? It's like you're kind of self-reliant in yourself, although the most successful Harara gameplays that we've seen is because of your team being able to support that, right? So there's this kind of case where Harley probably does that. Oh, wow, okay, he's burning the flicker. So he's got that, but Harley essentially does the same thing. You know, you're pretty self-sufficient to be able to move around the map. You don't have to rely too much on your team until, you know, obviously you get to that mid or late game.
Yep, they have their stats skewed to one side slightly more on a spectrum of junglers between mobility and, you know, single-handed burst damage. You know, when holding down the fort, stopping the rest of Onyx from actually crossing over. So both teams respecting their boundaries, their jurisdiction when it comes to stealing away and taking out resources from the other. About 20 seconds until the turtle spawns, lower quarter. This is as safe as it gets. Again, not more than a 500 gold swing either way.
Yeah, Leo, this is about as safe as it gets. It's like you're playing, there's your side of the map, here's the line. We're drawing it, we're gonna stay on this side, you guys stay on that side. I mean, imagine, you know, 4.5 minutes in, no kills, no first bloods. Just that turtle is what they're fighting for. This one definitely looks like it's going to be resulting into at least this 4v4 as both gold laners still up on that top side of the map, fighting for the second turtle.
Kairi pathara vandu buffer adichittu irukapla andha edutha pathara vandu Zuxin pathara Zuxin tikitaanga ipo next pathara vandu glow pathara vandu remote பண்ணிட்டேன் back la pathara vandu dragon அடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கான். ஓகே glow காலி இப்போ வந்து Keyboy paltu pote match kapathirapla. It's almost iPod.
And that's all she wrote, unless Marco wants more flying
I think Sans die.
Looking for the choke up. Sans will be able to in comes Keyboy.
They save.
The jump back at the
Clint
will not save Marco. Wanton mayhem on Falcon's side of the map, resulting in 6 kills off the turtle for Onyx.
They just got a whole lot, man. We were just talking about how nothing had happened in those first, you know, few minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden, look at this. 6 kills plus a turtle.
Joseph, a whole lot is an understatement.
6 kills plus turtle. 3.1k. Gold lead
long sequence again. Maybe the fact that they got the mount was the sign of, okay, maybe we should try.
Yeah, I mean, again, even fighting in between the two turrets here, I thought
that should have been, but no. The fact that there was a revitalize and
Dranger pathara vandu full stack ஏத்த வயதோட போறாங்க. அதான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
It was still Onyx who was declaring and dictating where the fight happens. So now they're up 3,000 gold. Kelra can move around where he wants, and all right, say what you will about the Hirara and the Esmeralda kind of going where they want to.
Okay.
They find Kyle wants
Hirara Gali.
There's no way Kyle survived this. Lutpi scores.
Hirara Gali. Sadava pathara vandu glow vandu yare pudichu kottu porana yaar adu Marshall.
Yeah.
So waste of fault. 3 புஷ் பண்றாங்க அடிக்குறாங்களா யா அல்ட் போட்றாங்க உள்ள வந்து க்ளோ மட்டும் மாட்டாங்க க்ளோ காலி சோ நெக்ஸ்ட் பாத்ரா ஜூக்ஸின் பிளான் ஜூக்ஸின் மாட்டுவாங்களா ஜூக்ஸின் மாட்டா இல்ல ஜூக்ஸின் பாத்ரா வந்து மாட்டலை
there's no damage between Flap and Haji here. Falcons once again lose 2 for free.
I mean, what do you do, you know?
He stops him. He does, but the damage Kyrie finds another. But there is a trade-off. Down goes Sands.
Look at
mid. Haji did it up for Keyboy. What is
bro really
these enhanced basic
நேத்து வாங்க அடியில ஆடி திருப்பி கொடுக்குறான் அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்குது ஆனா ஏன் அடிக்கிறோம் தோத்து போகடா நான் முதல்ல பெட் கட்டடா
It feels like Onyx is everywhere. And at this point, that's what they can do, man. Just continue to build this lead of 5,000 up ahead. The next turtle, last one, is coming up here. But look at this.
Okay, and then again. Yeah.
We've seen Kirara survive a deadly magics through a sequence of spell vamps and iframes, but not like that.
Again, another fight up like a blue buffalo.
Of, I don't know, savage vulnerability, because that's what it feels like, Joseph. About 2 to 3 minutes worth of that gung-ho intent that they had against Yangon Galacticos last night.
This feels like Onyx time, like in game 1. I mean,
for sure.
You know, this is going to be the next turtle that they get 3 for 3 there. You saw the
difference
for gold in the gold lane. 2,000, I think it was, for Kelra. I'm wondering too if he already had the Sky Piercer. I'm not sure if we saw that. If we can take a look at the items here to see where the gold lane is falling in. Yeah, so he's got the Sky Piercer. I'm not sure.
6.3k gold lead.
Minimum 2 stacks. Malefic Roar already. I mean, think about it, man.
நீங்க என்ன டீம் சப்போர்ட் பண்றீங்க? ஆனிகா இல்லாட்டி வந்து ஃபால்கனா?
At that 8 minute mark. That's why all they have to do is lay down Keyboy's golden hour. Here's some Rhapsody shots. There's the stacks. He got 4 stacks.
There you go. I counted.
Kelra have a 40 stacks.
Apparently, he built it before the whole
40 stacks, 4 kill 40 stacks.
Hey man, if you could just line up Rhapsody shots and then guarantee them to hit after the golden hour is done,
okay.
What else can you do? You know?
Looking for more.
இந்த ஃபைட் நடக்க போது ஃபைட்ல பார்த்தா யாரும் சாக போறது சோ ஆல்ரெடி அல்ட் பார்த்தா ஃபுல் ஸ்மார்ட்டா போயிடுச்சு அதனால வந்து ஃபைட் அந்த அல்ட் பார்த்தா வந்து ஸ்மார்ட்டா போட்டதுக்கு பதிலா வேற யாராவது பட்டரின் சாப்பிடணும் இந்த இடத்துல ஒருத்தர் இருப்பாங்க ஓ ஜூக்ஸின் காலி இப்போ க்ளூ நெக்ஸ்ட் ஓடு கிராங்கரே 70 40 60 70 ஆமா 70 ஸ்டாக் 2 கில்ல 50 சாரி ஓகே Kyrie, double kill.
Oh, Daniel, I hate to say it, man, but this might be one of the cases where Falcons just go next, you know? It just does not seem right. I don't know if it was the fact they're on Flying Clouds and they just haven't won a Flying Cloud map.
Push பண்றாங்க மேட்ச் முடிய பார்க்கறாங்க நினைக்கிறேன்.
I mean,
மேட்ச் முடிப்பாங்களா? இல்ல ஆடுடா.
Falcons can clear.
So next ஆடு எடுத்த மேட்ச்.
To say go next might not be the next thing in the to-do list because I think Falcons is still clean up, all right? Falcons still kind of
ஃபால்கர்ல கேட் உட்கார்ந்திருக்கா புள்ளுக்குல.
Will play cleaner.
எதுக்கு?
But it's going to take so much. It's going to have to involve Onyx saying maybe we stop.
I'm worried.
Yeah, they all rated both for Lord.
Change the calorie because right now Super Moscow. Yeah, he's got to get a new horse. You know, because right now he just showed up to this rodeo without one, and that's unfortunate. He's 0-3. He's so far behind Kelra. And so what do you do?
Falcon have only 1 kill. But Onyx 14 kill அடிச்சிருக்காங்க. கிட்டத்தட்ட 10k கோல் லீட்ல இருக்காங்க. இந்த ஒரு ஃபைட் நடக்க போகுது. ஃபைட்ல மொத சாக போற யாரு? மேட்ச் செத்துருச்சு. இப்ப நெக்ஸ்ட் டாக் தான் டங்காலியா போகுது. யா. பிஃபோர் லார்ட் வரதுக்கு முன்னாடி பாத்து வந்து ரெண்டு பேர் கிளியர் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஒண்ணுக்கு 3 பேர் பேலன்ஸ். ஓ. நோ. யா கிளின்ட் காலி.
That's not very
Kyrie கிட்ட சரியான கேப்ல.
Man, it looks like it could end here. Leo, Flap and Kyle still alive. They got a wave pushing in bot every single lane. Lord is just now spawning. Is Onyx looking to end?
Kyle, of course, he's
I think
couple of dashes back.
Highly running
in the heat of it. Flap.
Bro, again.
Deadly magics. Down goes Ogwin. Next up
now the match is over. The first round winner is Onyx.
Kelra max out on stacks. Gets another just for good measure.
Onyx Kelra Sky Pressure 8 is top. Kelra double kill.
Onyx will just pad the stats in game 1.
Bro.
That's exactly what they were doing there at the end. They knew they had it in the bag.
Adi.
Dominant way this game 1 against Falcons, man. You know, and again, you look at just the way they played. It was executed well.
But as all of the armchair analysts and online pundits will say, I think Falcons knew what was up.
Yeah.
Halfway through that game, I think they knew that go next was the next measure.
That's at one point, as much as you want to say, you know, they can come back from this, they can make a stand at the base, they can make this happen. There's some cases where that's just not going to happen. And this was one of them, at least for game one. Again, hopefully we still have 4 games ahead of us, but you know, these highlights brought to us by STC, you're going to see this kind of...
இங்க பிடிச்ச ஃபைட் தான் அப்படியே இங்க இருந்து அப்படியே பிடிச்சு அடிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க.
You really don't have any action until this fight.
It was the first major sequence, 5 minutes.
Yeah. And it was off this fight, off that turtle, and then in between the 2 turrets, and then it just did not stop there.
OVS பத்திர வந்து இதுக்கு நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன் பட் OVS is really
all right, I think we dropped the ball.
We dropped this one. And again, like, I mean, look at this. Super Mario, this is all he dealt with all game. You know, one of the unfortunate things about going against that Harley is he can just make that happen.
I'm pretty sure our panel will mention how the range on Onyx draft is just all the more superior.
The courage falling.
Yep, let's go.
The anguish falling.
To break down our game.
இதுல வருமே.
These guys, yeah,
the kill count. My soldiers push forward. My soldiers scream out. My soldiers range upload super
game 1 over Team Falcons PH.
அது கேக்கும்போதல அப்படியே குதிச்சான்.
Their fans, Rainday, Rimar, and Trex back on the desk after a quick game 1. Sometimes we get a little bit of a longer break.
So Odic win the first match. So second match வரதுக்கு டைம் இருக்கு. அது வரை வெயிட் பண்ணி தான் பார்க்கணும். யாராவது லைவ் பார்க்கறத மறக்காம கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்க. ஒரு கேம் போலான்னு சொன்னீங்க அப்படினா ஒரு கேம் போட்டு வந்து பார்க்கலாம். இல்லனா இதே வீடியோ பார்க்கலாம். எப்படி
Falcons by realizing the importance of the Harley, how good it is, as you mentioned, the small tricks against the Hirara.
Yeah, the Harley's a monster. So many things in that draft went in favor of Onyx. I feel like so many things just kind of worked out. And as we saw, the Harley, I think a lot of teams were searching for an answer for the Hirara throughout the beginning of this tournament. And eventually the Harley popped up, right? And that was kind of the death of the Ling in a sense. We haven't seen one Ling get picked, I don't think, in all of knockout stage so far. And it was one of the most favored picks in the beginning.
Well, as you can see here, it was just dominant from start to finish. The other thing, maybe oversights, maybe want to test the waters, was the Marcel.
Upcoming event la pathina vandu Kakashi, Sakura, Naruto, அப்புறம் வந்து புது Kakara இருந்துச்சுனா
but it was not
இதெல்லாம் வந்து பஃபா வராங்க கார்டு
that's why I was looking for more
நிறைய கேட்ட டெர்ஃப் பண்றாங்க அப்புறம் வந்து பக்கிட்டோ வந்து அவுட் டெஸ்ட் பண்றாங்க
we know how great the Juicin as a pick is, but in this scenario, knowing that you're up against a Valentina Esme and a Harley in the center, I know teams like to pick up the Juicin as a response to the Harley, so that if ever you're the one that gets focused by the deadly magics, you back away. But you needed that damage.
நான் எப்படி ப்ளே பண்றேன் I am Kairi.
And put all of the damage pressure on your jungler against a Marcel.
Against one of the things that I think that's the thing with the draft. That's the thing with the meta right now. So many picks are overlooked. There was so much counterplay in even. I think we can get a little bit more in depth in the moment, but the reality is there are so many answers to so many picks, and you think you are target banning and draft, and then you forget about. Oh wait, this
that's
is
now Harley play.
Worry about.
Yeah, and we're getting different motivations, different moments of them snapping back into the competition. Yet. That was too fast of a game for them to be happy about, even with all the smiles and the different approach early on. You know what you're fighting for. There's a lot at stake. Onyx, land the first blow. And now it's time for Falcons to find a response.
Yeah, Onyx and Kalura mentioned that for him, maybe things that Indonesian teams could work on, according to Kalura, is communication. That didn't look like the case for Onyx. It looked like their synergy, as even Coach Midnight and Aurora mentioned before, was just really sharp. Their comms sharp. They knew exactly what they needed to do.
Well, take a look at that. Kind of hard to break down.
உனக்கு வந்து இப்ப கைரியை பார்க்க வேணாம். கைரி புள்ளைய பார்க்கணும் அதானே. கைரி கேர்ள்ஸ் பார்க்கணும்.
We're going to take a look at the draft. This is actually my first time getting to use this thing. I'm going to put my glasses on for it. So the major things I want to focus on is the beginning in the first set of bans. Now, Team Falcons being on
Team Falcon pick okay da, but adala vandu avoid பண்ணிக்க வேண்டிய pick யாரு பார்த்தா வந்து க்ளோதா
this Uranus. And I think that is where the big downfall of this whole draft begins. Instead of banning out the Marcel, they go for this Uranus ban. And I think the idea was I don't think they thought the Marcel was going to get picked up. I think they thought Onyx was going to favor into giving Kai.
இது ஓடட்டும். நம்ம வந்து இது பண்ணுவோம். நான் தான் சொன்னேன்ல ஆனிக்கு தான். நேத்தே பொடனையோட ஒரு போடு போட்டு அடிச்சு பத்தி விட்டாங்க. 3-0ன்னு. ஓகேவா? நேத்தா பொடனையோட ஒரு போடு போட்டு அடிச்சு பத்தி விட்டாங்க. நான் ஒருப்போம். இது அடுத்த இது மேட்ச் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகிற வரைக்கும் பிரால தான் போடுவோம். இது எதுக்குன்னா இது இப்ப நான் வந்து இப்ப மொபைல்ல கேம் ப்ளே பண்ண விட்டேன்னா கான் பார்க்க முடியாதுல. பியூட்டி பேனல் போயிட்டு நம்ம இதுல இருந்து சேட்டை வந்து பாப்பப் எடுத்துக்கலாம். நார்மலா ஓப்பன் பண்ணா உன்னோட எப்படி இருக்கும்ல, அதில் வந்து கிரியேட் கொடுத்துட்டு கோலே கொடுத்துரு. கோலை கொடுத்த உடனே இந்த மாதிரி லோட் ஆகும். சைடில் வந்து சேட்டு தெரியும். ஓகேவா? ஆஹா, அது நான் அப்படி நீ எது வின் பண்ணிட்டாலும் இந்த 3 டாட்டை கிளிக் பண்ணி பாப்பப் செட் கொடுத்துடலாம். கொடுத்துட்டு இப்போ நான் பேக்ரவுண்ட் இந்த ப்ரௌசர் தேவையில்லை, இப்போ க்ளோஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இதை நீ வந்து அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் சைஸை மாற்றி சைடில் வச்சுக்கலாம். அவ்வளோதான், சிம்பிள். இப்போ வச்சுட்டு உனக்கு வேணுன்ற ஸ்க்ரீனை வந்து இதில் நீங்கள் வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஷேர் பண்ணிவிட்டு என்ஜாய் பண்ணலாம். இப்போ நான் இதை எடுத்துட்டு டிஸ்கார்ட் பாத், அவ்வளோதான். அட இரு, ஓபிஎஸ்ல டிஸ்பிளே கேப்சர் ஆஃப் பண்ணிடும். விண்டோஸ் கேப்சர் போட்டோம் அப்படின்னா அது மட்டும் தெரியும். நம்ம என்ன ஸ்க்ரீன் செலக்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கோமோ அது மட்டும் தெரியும். அவ்வளோதான். உள்ள வந்தாலே எம்எஸ் தான், 183 எம்எஸ். நான் எங்கிட்ட போய் ஆடுறது? கடுப்புத்துறை. எம்எஸ்லயே வாழ்றாயா இந்த கேம்காரன்? என்ன உட்காந்து பல்ல கடிச்சிட்டு இருக்க? யாரையா இவன்? ட்ரிண்ட், கோஷியன் 2 வேணாம் எனக்கு. அவனும் வேணாம். ஆர்கஸ் 9 பிங்கு. இது ஒரு எம்எஸ்ஆ? 9 பிங்கா? கண்ணு தெரியுமா உனக்கு? ஆட தெரியாதியா? எனக்கு ஆட தெரியாது. பார்ப்போம். எனக்கு ஆட தெரியாதுதான். ஆனா உனைய மாதிரி கிடையாதியா. ஏதாவது கேட்டு ட்ரை பண்ண அப்படின்னா உடனே ட்ரை பண்ணிடுவாங்களே. நீ தான் தக்காளி ஆட தெரியாத ப்ரோ, அது தெரியாத ப்ரோன்னு ஓடி போயிடுவேன். குட் மார்னிங்கய்யா. என்னையா லைவ் முடிச்சு தூங்கிட்டியா? ஐ எம் நாட் அ சைல்ட். நீ குழந்தைதாயா? என்ன வயசு உனக்கு? ஐ எம் டிஎன் கைரி. தமிழ் ஸ்பெல்லிங் சொல்லு. தெரியாது. இதுல எந்த ஸ்கில் லெவலா போடணும்? கேம்ஸ் கூட இப்ப வைக்கிறேன். கிரேட் ஒருத்தறீங்க.
Keep your opinions to yourself, thank you. On my word.
ஏய் அடிச்சாம்பர அடி சேவியர். தமிழ்நாடு மயிரே.
Target. Fend off my dagger.
டிஎன் அப்பனா வந்து தேனி தமிழ்நாடு.
A bit of arbitrariness won't hurt anybody.
யோ கூஷின் ஆடவே தெரியாது. சேவேஜ் பத்தாவது பிளான்ஸ் வர இருக்கான். கிளிண்ட் எடுத்தா கூட நான் ஆடி இருப்பேன். வாய்ஸ் வேற அப்பப்ப உள்ள போயிருது.
Let's get this.
இல்லையா இந்த மைக் இல்ல, அதனால வாய்ஸ் அப்பப்ப என் வாய்ஸ்.
My daggers hit hard.
An enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain.
On my word. Watch my blade.
Request back. Ally has been slain.
You better watch out.
Our turret is under attack.
எடுக்க முடியும்.
Been destroyed.
அடிக்காது.
An enemy has been slain.
அது பிளாக் மாத்த முடியல ப்ரோ. மாத்தணும் அப்படின்னா இன்னொரு டைம் கேட்கறான், அதுக்கு மாத்தாம இருப்பேன்.
Enemy dominating.
அப்பதான் மார்க் சொன்ன
Has been slain.
பிச்சைகள் பொழிச்சு நினைக்கிறான். இவர் அல்டி
Has been slain. Double kill. An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Enemy godlike.
Untamable. Why tame people anyway? Those old fools. Warming up. On my word.
Slain.
Target.
என்ன ஸ்கில் போடணும் எனக்கு என்னன்னு தெரியலையா மைக் இல்லையா அதனால அப்பப்ப ஆடியோ காணாம போயிருது
Now begins the fun part.
An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
ஆளுக்கு ஆட தெரியல
Ally has been slain.
அட்லீஸ்ட் ஆளா டேண்டா கொடுக்குறாங்க
An enemy has been
கியூட்டா வருதா
under attack.
யோ சும்மாரியா நானே இங்க வாய்ஸ் காணாம போதுன்னு முடிச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன் கியூட்டா இருக்கான்
On my word.
Enemy double kill. Shut down.
Betrayal leaves a bitter
Our inhibitor turret is under attack. Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Do they go into EXP lane? Alice.
Uranus Esmeralda still available, so is Zushin, so is Phoveus. A lot of characters that we've seen banned, and it's the Harara back in it. Interesting, but I think just trying not to show their cards too early.
I wonder if there's just going to be a Belleric Atlas trade here, so we get the Belleric for Team Falcons. Will make things disruptive. I think Belleric Esmeralda would be okay. You don't pick up the Uranus. You don't pick up something like Hilda to hard focus an assassin because the Esmeralda is still open, and that if ever the Hilda gets picked up, Esmeralda will be an easy pickup for Onyx. I think Esmeralda plus mid laner. Oh, Claude, yeah, you're right. Claude and Esmeralda wouldn't be bad for Falcons.
Yeah, it denies it, saves a ban.
Oh, Claude Belleric, excuse me, yeah. So they decide, do we pick up the gold laner or do we pick up the Esme?
ஃபோன்ல ஒண்ணு பிரால் முடியல
How deep
அது
the
வரைக்கும் குட்டியா ஒரு மூலையில
XP
இருக்கட்டும்
lane goes right now. They go for the Jushin instead. You get a little bit of crowd
குட்டியா
control.
மூலையில
You get some
இருந்து
possibility
சொன்னா
of kite, so definitely not a bad idea. This is a hero that is never so stable and sitting in the same spot that it can kite back from the Atlas.
Yeah.
It also can pick up the Purify and still be very, very valuable.
At least now Falcons know that they don't need to worry about that
match
party.
முடிஞ்சுச்சு
I think
அப்ப
either You can make a case for any of the picks to show up here, whether it's going to be the Claude, and then Onyx will later just ban out the Brody. If you pick up Hassan's pick, then Falcons will ban out the Claude and maybe even ban out the Harith at some point. Should be worthy. So they leave everything open again. They don't fall into
back to the game.
Pick up the Uranus.
The paka patthan and the Fanny, Belric, Zugzin, opposite la patthan the Atlas, Uranus, Tirara.
Things like
the Katikaya. Idana Kairin Sona. Yapudi Aran Pare.
Being very free for Onyx decides to ban out the Deeroth because they're expecting Falcons to put that into the EXP lane as the response of the Uranus.
Are you play-by-playing this draft right now?
The way, did you see how they looked over at Flap and Flap smiles?
Yeah,
the moment the Dairoth gets banned, Kyrie looks up, Flap looks back and smiles.
How do you guys feel about the Dairoth?
Yeah,
Dairoth bana.
Obviously.
What the be a clutch pick?
Dairoth ban
pannranga. Keeping something open, is that why they're doing it?
Well, I mean, it
thought process behind that.
It's a shredder, right? It's a
it's
something that could be the possible maybe whatever else Sonic has in store.
Obviously looking at the Uranus and the Esmeralda as two kind of yin and yang, two pieces of the same pie, and
Dairoth counter for
grab that for his team.
Uranus.
Obviously still looking for that mid
So they
laner for Sans as well, who went crazy. Kind of something we've called him before, Crazy Sans. Finally had that big game.
Oh, they banned out the Hanabi too. Okay, that's some really good respect by Onyx, not gonna lie.
It's interesting. It's interesting. It's
team Onyx oda ban la பயங்கரமா இருக்கு.
Are they just having fun at this point? Are they just having fun?
ஏதாச்சும் இருக்குங்க Uranus எடுத்துட்டாங்களே அதான்.
I feel like they got to understand the implications. I mean, this is for Falcons as an organization, back to back to back. I'm sure that's not taken very lightly. Game, you've got to get some edge.
I'm almost wondering if this is is Onyx gonna get a little crazy, go for double fighter here and like a Farza in the back or something? With the Dairoth ban, with the Hanabi ban, it's making me think that they could be going heavy front line here.
Yeah, to be fair, Paquito is still open.
Yeah.
Paquito in the gold lane for
last time எடுத்ததுல வந்து ban பண்ணிட்டாங்க. மார்ஷல் ban பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
Some form of
அப்புறம் வந்து Valentina
damage
அதையும் ban
that
பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
would be good.
Hanabi CC யோ அது நம்ம ரேங்க் ஆடுறோம் கிளாசிக்கரா ஓகேயா டோர்னமென்ட்ல பிக் பண்ண மாட்டான் ரேண்டம் எப்பயாச்சும் நடக்கும் வெக்ஸனா ஓகே
so they pick up the Vexana.
பாத்தியா ஒட்டுமொத்த MSC டோர்னமென்ட்ல வெக்ஸனா வந்து 4 times the pick.
Onyx damage profile, their strong front is just good. The Vexana for the Hirara
and that team பார்க்கலாம்
support that
கஷ்டமா இருக்குன்ற
is so much better.
Have they had an answer to the Fanny yet? Do you feel like they're missing something here on the side of Onyx?
A little bit.
Yeah, could be the Moskov. They end up getting the Claude.
Okay.
The fact that they locked in this Vexana first, though, means they're definitely still thinking about how they want to round out this draft. But yes, Moskov could be an answer. I mean, it's not exactly an answer, but it doesn't get targeted down as easy. They haven't found any hard crowd control. Picking up the Uranus, also a little bit dangerous, because the reality is he has zero crowd control as well, and can't just move right by him.
And it is the Paquito goal.
Paquito pick.
They're willing to play into it despite the presence of the Juice and Esme and Bellerin.
MS tournament Paquito வந்து இது 42வது pick.
Kelra mentioned he's more comfortable on a marksman, but he can play it.
Yeah, and this is where that Dairoth ban comes in. Right? Now we're going to have this heavy front line where if a Dairoth comes in and shreds down the armor of this Uranus, shreds down the armor of this Paquito, there could be a problem. The Vexana also will be more protected. And now you have this big group where everyone can kind of stick together, Ube-esque, and the Fanny coming into that, it is a death ball for... So that is your answer. Instead of crowd control, we just all stay together, and if Fanny comes in, you die.
No need to control it. We'll just all stay in a crowd. Onyx says they try to go back-to-back with wins. Can they take a 2-0 lead over Team Falcons PH? Naisu, Leo, what do you think about these drafts?
I like them, man. You know, good drafting here for both sides. It makes sense here, and I think for Falcons, after essentially that first game stop that Onyx had, this is what you want to go ahead. You know, bring in some of your best heroes, make it work. Kyle got his Fanny. Again, this is also Onyx. Remember when they brought up the Fanny, Leo? And so they know the game plan to play against a Fanny here.
And that's what I like the most, is both teams came in with answers. There are less questions than there are solutions. So I'd like to see Falcons equalize here,
Paquito fight rin bolam.
because game one, I think 95% of the community will say that was no game.
Yeah, like in their minds, they want this to be game one, basically. But nonetheless, Onyx, if they do happen to go ahead and secure this game, will be at that match point. And again, we've already talked about what's on the line here now for Falcons. You know, playing into this one, putting something like the Claude on Marco is way better, I feel like, than having that Clint, just because, again, you can be a little more self-reliant. He's got a Purify to work with. This was the hero, again, that, you know, this bulletproof Marco moniker started on, and just the fact that he's really hard to kill on it. So some of that alleviated by the fact that you complemented it well with a Jusha, who could help control some of these teams. That Lantern Flare, Flap, usually pretty dominant on the Esmeralda. I mean, the XP lane is going to be, you know, nothing against happens into the first objective fight, which is just seconds away here.
It's interesting that both sides actually commit a few rotations to bottom. I think they knew that both of those gold laners needed a little bit of help unlocking themselves to try and make for quick rotations. Lutpi, man-to-man defense here on the Flap, trying to get a bit of damage before Flap actually hits level 4. The Prior actually does that first. Keyboy looking for a quick frigid breath to stop Flap from pushing in. Quick knock up on that lantern.
Okay, first blood
he does survive. Jump in, falling Star Moon answered by internal guard. Extra bodies for Onyx does help reset the turtle.
Kelra comes through. There's the fight. They already got the beacon out.
Okay, turtle
for this first turtle.
Another knock up. Put that eternal guard witch, why not? Kelra punching Haji, forcing him to go back. Suns with a little bit of burst damage from that Vex.
Kelra damage illa.
Lutpi threatening away Kyle's purple.
So Onyx pathara turtle save pannitaanga.
Oh, look at this threat too. Kelra enough just to plant himself right here. The full champ stance here in front of Kyle, but again, he wants to go ahead and secure his golem. Keyboy and Sans are just here too.
Whoa! Oh! Massive fatal links catching Kyle, serving him up face to fist on Kelra, but Happy trades it out for him. 1 for 1, all in an effort to secure the goal.
இதுதான் வந்து ஓவர் கான்ஃபிடன்ட். கேல்ரா மூடிட்டு கோல் அனுப்பி இருக்கணும். அதை விட்டுட்டு இங்க நின்று இப்ப தேவையில்லாத வேலை.
The Fanny build up, I guess.
Oh no, another EG. In comes Kyle. He wants to go again. There's 3 of them there.
Fanny ஓடுது.
Counting the EG. What this does
இல்ல Fanny மாட்டிக்கிச்சே.
Put a lot of bank on Marco. Marco spent the past minute just taking waves. Unfortunately, he did not get the chip away at the shield. So I guess he's just half happy with the outcome on that.
Yeah. It looks like at least Kyle's going to be able to get his orange buff. I didn't know if Onyx would continue to put pressure there. A couple punches here from Kelra. Keyboy's here around the corner. Okay, nothing's going to happen after this. Again, good responses here on both sides, but alleviating some of the pressure. Nothing built up on either side off of that, but it's mainly that kind of nature, right? When you have a fan, you got to go ahead and help secure that jungle, and that's why Onyx knows. Let's put pressure even on the green camps, the small camps if we can. Kind of slow that down a bit. And you can see there was a small lead now in terms of XP being built up by Kyrie.
And Kyrie slowly rotating with the defense brush. Will not force it, will not push his luck and try to steal away the purple. Kyle will get it, so this will allow them to at least go 50-50 on this turtle spawning lower quarter.
All right, Kelra in position 2. Fighting for that. Whoa, Kyrie gonna get forced off his green camp.
Oh! That wall was the bane of existence. Tower shot coming through. Cyclone Eye to get the safety. Oh man, Kyle is not in any shape to take the turtle. Gets taken down by Lutpi off of an Ionic Edge. It's all Onyx. The Sky Kings are taking their second turtle as they apply more pressure on Falcons.
So Onyx pathara second secure பண்ணிட்டாங்க.
Escape, man. The cables going through the walls, getting a little speed boost, but then Lutpi comes through with the flicker to take him out. So now
நடக்குமா.
They're going to build up more.
Cloud alt use பண்ணிட்டான்.
Wrap the Dryad defensively to stop him from pushing forward. Are we back to square one? Is this the game 1 situation all over again? Onyx playing on Onyx time.
Yeah, feels like it. I don't know if they're going to be able to get this turn too. It looks like. Oh, hold on. They want to attempt.
Falling Star Moon.
Okay, done dive.
Down about 0.
Yeah. Paquito killed Esmeralda.
Onyx are 2,000 gold up, given that was 4 members of Onyx underneath tier 1.
Yeah. It's not as devastating as game one's Turtle take that, where we had that one team fight and Onyx pretty much took everything.
6-0.
You know, 6-0, but Falcons still okay. This lead is building up. They got to look for something to slow this down, though. That's the big problem. I mean, look at this key boys.
Okay, Fanny வந்து blue எடுக்க முடிவு பண்ணிட்டாங்க. So blue வந்து steal பண்ண பார்க்கறாங்க.
Had a couple of major members of Onyx behind him. Now tries again. Comes in with a
அந்த இடத்துல இப்ப யாரோ சாவ போறாங்க. யார் சாவ போறா?
Energy to start running roughshod in that small little avenue near the purple. This is tough because Onyx are now up 3,000, push tier 1 in mid and bot, so the map is shrinking.
The crazy thing about it is Onyx not really doing anything too fancy. It's just they're kind of putting pressure where they need to on the camps here of Kyle, but, you know, because that's the thing. If you put enough pressure, you know that Falcons has to respond to allow Kyle to get this kind of farm or even his purple buff hell, and Onyx can just continue to press down on the wound here.
Uh-oh. Get a quick knockup, but answer with a fatal link. Super Marco couldn't make that blaze.
பார்த்தா வந்து பெரிய ஃபேஸ் பண்ணிட்டா அதே மாதிரி எஸ்போட பெரிய ஃபேஸ் பண்ணிட்டா.
Make that 4 AG coming in, knocking up the big tree, chopping him down. Lootby scores another, but they find a punish on Suns. Can Kyrie finish what he started? And Kyle falls. They might find a shutdown on a Kyrie here. Kyrie gets away.
Oh man, the mobility again with Hirara on the showcase here.
இதனா வந்து ஸ்கில் 1 ஸ்கில் 2 கமெண்ட் பண்ணி ரெண்டு தடவை ஸ்கில் போட முடியும். அப்புறம் ரெண்டு தடவை ஸ்கில் போட்டு கவர் பார்த்தா வந்து ஸ்கில் 1 யூஸ் பண்ணி மொபைல் போட்டு தப்பிக்க முடியும்.
Brought to us by STC again, the Eternal Guard in this fight. Enough crowd control to keep Oakwin in place. Obviously Kyle comes and gets a kill, but at the cost of his own life too, so you know, again, it's just Onyx playing to the advantage, and now we're going to see that continuing happen here on this side of the jungle. And they've already got this lead built up, 5,000.
Oh no, Onyx no.
Oh no.
They force Kyle entry as he goes for his purple. They take him down.
Fanny வந்து அவங்க பஃப் எடுக்கறோம்னா முடிவு பண்ணிட்டாங்க. சோ அதனால ஃபுல்லா ரஷ் பண்றாங்க.
Kill him, go for the turtle, and then pressure mid continuously.
Man, I don't know. Onyx lineup is just like having. They just got bouncers, man. They got the Uranus. They got the. You got to count the Eternal Guard from the Vexana, and then you got Keyboy and the Atlas. Like these are 3 tanky dudes, just giving so much space to Onyx to work with.
Technically 4, because with perfect match, that's another body you have to worry about.
True.
Team Falcons are getting smothered here. It's literally just dude advantage.
Yeah.
There's literally more pieces that Onyx are bringing in, and 8 minutes in, almost 8,000 up. The math does not side with Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, you can see this. I mean, Lootby of all people on this Uranus, just go ahead, face off against 3-4 members of Falcons. Doesn't really matter. You know, he's not going to get shredded down at this point. Unless somehow Falcons can catch up to this, but just like we saw in game 1, being down 8,000 gold leading in to eventually this first goal, you almost expect just to secure that and start approaching these base turrets as they now take down all tier 2 turrets of Falcons.
And I would not doubt in this next wave, they're able to actually pop that holy shield. Oakwin falls once again. Kyle secures his malefic roar, so there should be some. Oh, Flap gets knocked out by Kalra underneath that inhibitor.
I don't know if there's any hope here, Leo. It looks grim. 2 of your tankier heroes being taken down in the lineup here against Onyx. Kyle's got no choice. Oh, Kyrie jumping in. Gets the beacon out too. They might just take a base turret now.
All right, the siege minion will fall. They will have to wait. Kelra sitting at 3-1-2. Sure, look at Kyrie 4, but Kelra since minute 1 has been the forward assault. He's been basically the bouncer that can't wait to get some quick knock up on a Lootby, but it's enough time to buy that takedown mid. This is the best position for Falcons to be in.
Match over. Match over. Match over. Match over.
Kyle was dealing with the wave down bottom, and now they have to clear the wave in mid.
Yeah, the match is over. So second round பார்த்தா வந்து Onyx வந்து win பண்றாங்க. Match over ஆகுது. அடுத்த minutes வந்துருச்சு.
There's still a wave, and Marco's here, waiting for Staffs on AOT and Blazing Duet.
Yeah.
Onyx
second match over.
Game number 2.
It's an easy win
for the Sky Kings.
Back-to-back games of Onyx clipping the Falcons' wings.
என்ன Onyx வந்து அடி கொடுத்துறாங்க டக்குனு அவங்க பாட்டுக்கு அடிக்குறாங்க.
I mean, I didn't think it would end there, but Falcons it just seemed like they really couldn't do much. Again, that was the nature, that was the story of game one. And you took the gamble and bring it in. This kind of jungle in the hands of Kyle. We've seen him do it before, but Onyx knows how to solve it.
More than just raw time and speed, Joseph. The velocity at which Onyx won this. Looking at their lineup again, 70% of it says that there's no re-engage on us. We literally are in your face and we win fights. And sure, this might have ended, what, under 11?
Yeah.
But it felt twice as quick as game one.
It did. And it was one of those cases, again, where off of maybe, what, I think it was a second turtle this time, where they just flipped the switch and it became Onyx time again, you know? And you would think they'd have a little bit more difficult time getting into the space with this kind of lineup, but they just had such a lead that they brute forced their way through it. And again, Falcons left kind of wondering what happened here through this one. So just a really tough game, back-to-back games here for Falcons. And for the Falcon fans out there, let's go ahead and throw it over to the studio to break down our game two.
Well, jubilation continues for Onyx as they go 2-0 up and are only one game away from $100,000. It has been less than an hour. It has actually been less than 25 minutes of game time to earn $100,000. In what many people couldn't even go get their Uber Eats or whatever delivered by them. That's a pretty good use of your time, right?
Yeah, we have longer on this panel than we've seen actual gameplay in this series. That's Onyx time, man. They are. It feels like this is like years of frustration from Onyx against Team Falcons and their members. Years of frustration from Indonesian players against Filipino players, just going out all with a bang here.
Yeah.
Because even in the draft, it was good. They had answers for both.
Yeah.
You can just put it together as Onyx are simply better today.
He said, I mean,
we basically walked back to the Talon room and then ran back here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about how
that's about, you're right. It was a walk back and it was like a light jog over this way because that's how fast it was. I mean, I got to say that the word coming out of my mouth right now feels a little bit of disappointment to start, but that is also the sign of what could be a great comeback story because I'm sure Filipino fans were watching that originally and then Falcons started to turn it up against Yangon Galacticos. They brought it back 2 games. They got Super Marco on that Claude, which is yet to happen again and again, and they made their moments. So guys, I'm not going to continue with the dismay, maybe the doubt that's occurred here. I'm actually going to talk about what if we can see this Team Falcons PH team bounce back yet again, because that's what I know everyone at home is hoping to see.
Yeah, at the same time, all right, I might be the voice of the community here. I feel like a lot of people are thinking, do they really want to see that? After years of Filipino domination, and yes, this is a Filipino saying it.
You might be right.
I gotta be honest, there are probably a lot of members of the community right now watching this game and enjoying the hate watch.
You might be right.
Listen, you know me. Even I want to see this go to 5 series.
Really, Mr. Fear? I feel like you want to see this end now.
No. Even I, for the love of esports, want to see this go 5 games. I don't ever want to see a 3-0 sweep like this. 2 20-minute games. I mean, 2 games in essentially under 20 minutes at this point. I want to see this at least go 4 games, and I think Falcons can definitely do it. I know that they've had a rough 2 games so far, but we saw them do it yesterday. It was tough yesterday going up against Yangon for them, and they were able to bring it all the way to Game 5. And I still think a lot of it has to do with possibly draft, maybe a bit of execution. They got to pull it together. They got to play them.
The disappointment is in not showing up. It's not showing your identity. It's not claiming a way that you want to approach the game and kind of being on the back foot, saying we didn't even get a chance to be us. That's what the disappointment would be. And if we take this maybe one step further, this is the last statement before M8. We talked about it coming into here. How do you want to leave? What do you want to put on the table and say, yeah, we didn't get where we wanted, but boom, take that, we will be back. That's what I know Team Falcons wants to do. Let's not even talk club championship at this point, because they are 3 games in a row away from being able to do that, and that's a tall task against any of these semifinalists, let alone Onyx, who are playing this well.
Yeah, I wonder what else they have left in the tank. I feel like Young Galacticos brought them to their limit. Yeah. And Game 5 could have been anyone's game. I still clearly remember at the end of that draft, I did utter those words like, this is up to anyone. And we thought it was going to be Falcons. Then they committed those 2 errors. And I feel like those 2 big errors, diving into the base and then taking that one fight, I just can't remember exactly when, is still haunting Falcons.
It's a new Balearic collector.
Your arrival was within my calculations.
இப்போ என்ன தரோம்?
The Shikyo flower in me has withered in the hellfire.
Okay. Ready to be a backbone of team. The official EXP LAN guide is now available. Learn and basic from the EXP LAN, improve your skill and join the event. Win up to 20 developers. Tap the button. Join now. அப்புறம் டைம் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். நமக்கு நேரத்தை எல்லாம் வரும். என்னப்பா ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்களா?
Roam mid trio, it's very jungler damage.
ஓகே சும்மா பார்த்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. அதை நான் கூட என்ன நினைச்சேன். கமெண்ட் கைஸ் மறக்காம லைக் பார்க்குறவங்க லைக் பண்ணாதீங்க, லைக் பார்க்குறவங்க ஷேர் பண்ணாதீங்க, லைக் பார்க்குறவங்க சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணாதீங்க, லைக் பார்க்குறவங்க ஒன்றும் பண்ணாதீங்க, லைக் மட்டும் பாருங்க. உங்களுக்கு வந்து எப்படி கிளாட் ஆடுன்னு தெரியல, நான் சொல்லி தரேன். கத்துக்க சொல்லுங்க.
Come on, Dexter.
Come on, Dexter.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Yo. என்னவோ பண்றாங்க.
Let me have a close look. Wow, priceless. Gold is dear. Diamond is dear. Neither can be given up, though. Are you getting fat lately?
You have been slain. Ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Our turret is under attack. Killing spree. Our turret is under attack.
Eldrick வந்து
Has been slain.
Let me introduce you to my partner, Dexter! Escape? No. I'm only borrowing it.
Enemy double kill.
அடிக்கிறான் போட்டு பிடிச்சு அடிக்கிறான். கட்டி உனக்கு ஓகே ஸ்டார்ட் ஆச்சு.
Play right here. They go for the Valentina, which again forces Onyx to most likely ban out the Marcel here.
Yeah, and then when they ban out the Marcel, most likely either a Belleric rush or they go for one of the assassins open. And then on the other side, Onyx will get the Belleric. If they still let go of the Belleric, then Falcons should not bite into that bait and then just pick away a Keyboy signature hero like a Cho. I think I'd rather Falcons give the Belleric to Onyx because Keyboy doesn't look like he's not that comfortable. This is not a Keyboy hero. It doesn't feel like Keyboy.
Right. Yeah, the Fanny has been pretty standard. The Atlas as well. But the focus on Roam early, I think, has been more beneficial to Keyboy and to Onyx than it has been to Falcons. And I do believe that maybe second phase is what's important. There's been a lot of EXP bans. We've seen the Uranus ban twice and then picked up. That's been high priority for this matchup. It hasn't really worked out well in the hands of Falcons. But Flap now trying to pick up something that could shift the tide. The Barat's finally open, has been banned 2 games in a row, and now could be something that they go for.
Got to go for Marcel here. Yeah. Marcel gets picked up, which is huge for Falcons. Unless, I mean, if Onyx has an answer to this right now, then I guess Onyx just, they were destined to win this series at this point. They take up the Harara. You go for Belleric here. I feel like Belleric is okay against the Marcel. You want someone that's going to come in. Yeah, no possible answer down the line.
Yeah. Again, though, but my only problem with the Belleric is it's Belleric for Keyboy. Just to me has just never felt so comfortable in terms of an idea. So they go ahead and prioritize the Barat. Tough thing about this now is if you decide to pick up the Harley, you have another big stompy boy coming in through the EXP that could mess you up and mess up your engages because essentially it becomes a 1-for-1 trade. If you're going to get the deadly magic off into someone and will deal damage, Barat is going to choose someone up and then it's going to be a -1. I think Juicin should not show up for any of these drafts, and both of the mid laners need to go for burst, high crowd control. Get Vexana back, get Lo Yi back, Farsa, anyone who fills in that idea.
I think if they can go for a solid front line on the side of Falcon, the Harley can still be viable. And honestly, it kind of feels like it's the only option right now. Or the Guinevere. Guinevere, another decent option, honestly. They also fall into Marco, give themselves some comfort. And I think, in my mind, this is the only way this draft should have really gone for Falcons. Don't big brain it too hard. They get the Marcel. They get so much power in these first few picks. Play what you know you can do and that you know will work.
He gets the Claude for the first time as well. And I am a little bit worried. The only reason I'm worried on the side of Falcons continuing this on is because wouldn't you just think Onyx no? I mean, they're giving the Marcel, so they must have an answer in mind. Maybe it doesn't work in practice, but they know what they're doing.
One thing that Onyx needs to ban out, I feel like, would be an R-Lot for Flap. You see the Mathilda, there's a chance for Mathilda Barretts together. With all that dive and aggro, some strong crowd control. Again, I think Falcons this time can lean towards a little bit the idea of tempo control as long as it's not around a Juicin in the mid. You already have a Guinevere, get burst on your mid, get a high sustain, high mechanic EXP laner in the R-Lot that can be disruptive, and that would be great for Falcons.
I gotta say, this Matilda is one of the possible answers to that Marcel right there. The thing about the Golden Hour is it's a pretty long animation, right? You have a few seconds, and this Matilda could buy the time. It's also not a roamer that wants to just be in your face. It's not super stable. You get movement, and to pair that all up, you can actually keep up with the Marcel in terms of rotation, moving around the map. So possibly one of the things that Onyx was thinking about.
Oh, seriously, Matilda.
Marcel over.
Lapu Lapu and Zushin on the bans so far. We've seen EXP bans focus now shifting a little bit towards the mid lane on the side of Falcons, which is maybe going to open things up for Haji. He's had a tough matchup against Sans. These two have kind of gone back and forth. They were highlighted earlier on before the set. Maybe just taking away a couple things. And right there, as you guys had mentioned, the Arlet banned out. against Falcons.
Yeah.
என்ன பண்ண காத்திருக்கேன்னு தெரியல guys. மத்தியில ராட்
And let's not
பண்றாங்க
turn off
தெரியல
the
அது பயம்
possibility
போல.
that this Matilda might surprise and go into the mid lane, and then you have a different roamer.
Definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. I think so many things are open. Falcons for EXP lane. Do we think Esmeralda's a possibility here with the... since they're going up against the Matilda, you have shields. Maybe not the greatest matchup against the Barats, but it's a little bit faster in terms of rotation.
Actually, their bans of the Arlot and the Lapu Lapu might already be a tell that this Barats is going into EXP. Because those two heroes would be somewhat be dealt with all right. Not answered by, but it's a moot point if you get an Esmeralda with you. So I think that Barats is already going to the EXP.
I mean, Esmeralda on Falcons.
Oh.
Be a decent pickup for them.
Yeah.
Is it enough to mix things up? Eudora feels like a forgotten thought, but should be top of mind with how well she has performed throughout this MSC. Picked up late after the bans from the mid lane have come through. Selena, Valentina, and Zushin. And now we see the Harith band.
I mean, it is already, excuse me, it's not a jungle Barrett, it's an EXP Barrett because you already have the Herrera. They ban out the Uranus. I don't know, man. Go. What else can they put? They took. Onyx really took out the two best ones. I think Phoveus is not going to have a good time with this lineup either. You don't put that Guinevere in the jungle, you just stick it into the EXP. They do need range or constant damage. They could go Kimmy in mid with the Marcel as a combo. Get a lot of pokes in, but no, they go for the Farsa. I was asking for burst and they got it. Oh, and a Sora! Sometimes I forget he exists.
Ban game one.
And I mean, this is a pick that can capitalize on this close. You have the Eudora, who's very close range.
Okay, go for Sora and the Farsa.
Stick together a bit. Everyone's going to kind of want to huddle around this Matilda, especially with the Barats, someone that wants to peel for this Eudora, kind of protect. Obviously, Harar is going to be doing her own thing, but the Sora, one big shifting skies.
Yeah.
And it could be detrimental to the way the Falcons wins here. You pair that up with a Feathered Airstrike, Violent Requiem, a lot of combo play on the side of Falcons.
And I think Onyx were considering something maybe like an Iksha as a surprise idea, but nope, they're still going to lean in towards the damage. They can still play fast. This lineup that they drafted is still very Onyx coded. If Falcons mess up the execution, then it was definitely Onyx Day and Onyx Series to win.
Paquito in the gold lane for Kelra one more time. And we'll see if this can be the time that earns them third place. Kelra had a chance against Onyx prior. And this time it was an Onyx matchup. Can he do it against the Philippines? This time representing Indonesia. As Team Falcons and Onyx go up for game 3. Is it going to be a sweep in our third place match? Guys, that would be crazy, but I know some fans that would enjoy it. Let's send it over to Naisu and Leo.
Hey, I'm hoping it's not a sweep here. We got to get one on the board for Falcons. They need it, and their fans need it. I think they brought the draft here, though, Leo, to make that happen. I like what they brought to the table just because, again, there's some burst, there's some crowd control, and even the Marcel. I think this all pairs up really well against what Onyx brought to Game 3.
Not just that, the fact that they've basically over 3 games changed their identity. They let go of the glue, they let go of the Esmeralda. They're no longer living in the we will fight and die by this kind of rotation. There's a lot of re-engage here, especially to answer Onyx's own re-engage, especially with that Matilda in the hands of Keyboy. Early start here, a little bit of footsies between the mid duos from both sides, and then we eventually just return back the roamers protecting their junglers from getting their early buffs.
Taking a look at the emblems here, too. It's a little scary, as you mentioned, Keyboy, on this Matilda. Not only the mobility, but that focusing mark, the emblem there to go ahead and help. I mean, we already know the Eudora for Sands, like the burst potential there. Just yesterday, we saw Sunset Lover play it pretty much 5 games in a row. And, you pair it up with this, even the emblem interaction, there's a good amount of burst that comes through to almost solidify yourself a kill. So then you get the numbers advantage, and you can work around that, plus mobility. And I think that's what makes the Barretts even scarier here for Lutpi, just because, again, you already cover a lot of grounds with the Flicker, but then now you have a Matilda. Like, that's great. But over on the flip side, with Falcons, I kind of forget about Sora too. You know, I have to be on the same wavelength here with Renmar. You kind of forget about him, but just as we saw in the hands of Kid Bomba yesterday, you're reminded why he can be so deadly, especially when teams are kind of clumped up together.
And Onyx knows best exactly what a good Sora can do. Kyle backing off. They see that there's 3 members of Onyx pushing forth. Down bottom, though, who'd have thought that by bringing a pair of boxing gloves to a gunfight, you could get away with a lot. Kelra's bullying Marco. I doubt that Marco can even double wave as soon as this turtle dance or fight fully breaks out.
Yeah, right now Onyx got control of it. We'll see if Falcons is in a position to fight. Kyle's going to be spotted out here though by Keyboy. Can they go in?
That's a shifting skies started up by Flap, but to no avail as Onyx secures the turtle. Down goes Flap. That feather airstrike may be a league too far out of the fight as Onyx barrels forward 1,000 gold up.
Good enough burst, it seemed like, to be the case, but what happened there with Onyx was just able to go ahead and zone out. And part of that was just Loopy. I mean, on the Barretts alone, he just kind of separated the rest of Falcons from that, and they were able to go ahead and capitalize a kill on Flap when he tried to initiate things. And you know, honestly, that kind of choreography for these objective fights is kind of what I expect, unless somehow Falcons can figure out a different way to go through that. But that's what makes it really difficult. Again, you know, playing around the potential to surprise them with having this Guinevere, with having Ogwin on the Marcel. Now, the Golden Hour can help make that happen. You know, it could slow down or kind of make things weird, the rhythm weird for Onyx team fighting, but that first one was not it for Falcons.
To be fair, Ogwin wasn't ready quite yet. And that means 3 out of the 4 possible ults that were laid down to help disrupt Onyx form wasn't ready. Or they were lacking one major resource. So going in the turtle number 2, spawning in the lower quarter, out in about 30 seconds and change should be a different story. But again, that is looking at Onyx. They still have all of their resources. That as well into the wall, plus the air strike, but it's Kyle who falls! And Loopy walks away with it. Flap goes down too by Kyrie's blade. Onyx showing no quarter, as even Haji might fall, does not have the wings by wings! Kyrie, bloodthirsty, finds another.
Even before that Kyrie play, give it up to Loopy, man, to be able to go ahead and respond that fast. Again, he saw that Kyle came through. Daytona's welcomed him, flickered defensively to get him closer to the team fight. As we look at the replay, this is what I was talking about. Boom, right there, sets things up. San's also coming through to make sure that he got that stun off in time to make sure Loopy survived. And then, of course, Kyrie cleaning things up under a tier 2 this early on. Man, it's not looking good in game 3.
Turtle number 2 is looking like a non-starter once more. Lutfi Detna's welcome. Good amount of nothing he's chomped down, but that's just but a consolation prize for Falcons. They are in no shape to contest.
Biggest lead we've seen so far throughout these 3 games. Onyx going to go ahead and stall it out a little bit so that Kyrie can go ahead and grab his buff. Again, already sitting at 3-0. You know, this is the power spike already for Harara. It's going to be really difficult to play against, and that's why even your frontliners for Falcons are having such a hard time here, because even if they put themselves in this, I mean, look at that. You either get stunned, you get chomped. Oh, they are going to slow this down a little bit, but, I mean, you buy an extra second or 2 with the Golden Hour, and Turtle secured for Onyx.
They're delaying the inevitable. Onyx knows that they were going to get the turtle anyways, but I don't know if they saw that Marco was going to work the opposite lane. So that's at least a turret on the board for Falcons. They'll help keep this lead down to a palpable 3K, but Kelra will make quick work of that turret on the other side as well. So I'd say it's still just the free turtle that Onyx are riding on that puts him up at about 4,000 gold. They find one! Ooh. And Kaku saving himself. Keyboy with a circling eagle. Onyx refused to get anything over to Team Falcons.
Falcons was so close to at least getting one on the board, and then Keyboy is able to survive, man. That Purify, even if they popped it, he still had the shields to go ahead and keep him alive. Really good usage there. Now they're knocking on this tier 1. Oh, Kelra.
Better airstrike. Kelra coming in from the flank. Stop. Flickered in. Hadouken. Might take a Haji, but Haji does get the fly off even with the flicker from Lutfi, and the punish from Falcons is real. Ogwin punches him down. Golden Hour will not save him from Sans though, as it turns into a 1-for-1.
All right, the 1-for-1 trade, at least Falcons is on the board, but man, again, you're seeing it. Onyx playing around the lead that they have, and you know, one of the difficult things here as you see these fights break out is just how kind of, oh, hold on, Flap, whoa, burns a flicker. Okay, Sounds is gonna be okay. So at least a battle spell expended. But again, it's weaving into these fights. The thing that Onyx lineup does so well, especially with Kelra or Kairi, is how much they can maneuver around these team fights or around these.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Was that a circling eagle leading up to Ludwig underneath tier 1, getting hit with a Requiem, and they get another. T-Boy falls, the punish from Falcons, getting 2 kills on Marco.
Yeah, did they just guiding wind into their death? I mean, Onyx tried to make it seemed like he wanted to make a play, and then they got punched in the face.
Yes, the only reason why it seems so unbelievable is it happened as we were swinging the camera over, and then it happened. So turtle number 3 might actually be Falcons' way to redemption. And it looks like Onyx are not going to contest, so they accept the folly of their fumble. Falcons on the board when it comes to neutrals.
Yeah, that's when you say, you know, that's my bad, that's my bad, right? But
MB, go again.
MB, go again. Falcons able to get the last turtle. They still have some ground to cover, though. They're down a bit, a few thousand gold up to this point, but they are starting to farm up, and a big part of that is going over to Super Marco.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, wings by wings out. Marco, can we take a look at the items to see where Super Marco is? Again, okay, so he's got his 2 items. He's working on his 3rd. That golden staff is what he needs to get that Trinity locked in for this Claude. So he's done a really good job, despite how things have kind of fallen apart for the early game for Falcons. You know, your gold laner for Falcons is really what you're leaning towards. Obviously, Haji, too, only having the glowing 1. You can already see when he drops down a Feathered Airstrike, it's got some damage. So Falcons is waiting.
A little bit of a sting there. And he's down a full 1,000 gold up from Sun, so Falcons have to play this very precariously. A minute until Lord spawns lower quarter. Fortunately, the long lane is in control of Falcons, so that's what Marco's been working on. Shifting skies, but he gets answered by that as well. The Feathered Airstrike 2, golden hour, compromising the rest, and then Requiem on a Suns, and Falcons get a kill. Now into the back line, circling Eagle, knocking up Kyle. Kyle's not long for this world as Kairi scores. Killer knocks out Haji. The Blazing the Web fade away by Marco, pushing them back, but they're not done. Ogwin runs through, recalls back, fight's over.
Okay, fight's over. Onyx gets the upper hand in that one. Sans, unfortunately, had to deal with the spatial migration coming through from Kyle. Oh, Kelra with a couple punches. Checking Ogwin here. They're going to take down the tier 1 in mid. So Onyx reestablishing that lead that they had earlier on. You know, but Falcons, they're showing some fight here. They're showing some promise. They've just got to find the upper hand. Again, this Daytona's welcome, locking down Flap. Look at Kyle, he finds Sans. That's great, but then this fight kind of gets split up, you know, and they don't really have the room to work with here. Flap has to disengage from it. The Blazing Do It from Super Marco didn't get as much value as you'd hope for if you're Falcons. So it was just, again, having that upper hand in terms of itemization for Onyx, and now this Lord is up. So they've got control of it. Falcons here. Do they contest? Ogwin jumping forward to give some information. They will reset the Lord, though.
Flap holding this brush behind the Lord pit. He's gonna get flushed out by Ludwig. Missile expert to throw him out there. And look at Kelra. Kelra is just doing God's work right now. The fact that he's threatening that long lane, all this while Onyx is also just threatening the dance, makes it so weird for Falcons. Like, what do they commit to? Sure, they have a BMI. Sure, they have the wings by wings, but those are massive resources they're gonna need if they want to fight against Onyx, who's up by about 4,500 gold. Whoop.
Oh, hold on.
Detna's welcome, throwing it over. Golden hour to delay the damage coming on a Flap, and he goes for the shifting skies. Jumps through, and now in comes Kyle. Marco looking for the perfect Blazing Duet entry. And there's some wings by wings. The damage on Kyle is real despite the Requiem Feathered Airstrike at point blank range. Kairi finds the double, make it a triple. Marco with a defensive Blazing Duet, but he's the only survivor left, and Onyx wanna clean up house. Kairi in the base. Can Marco do it? No! Kairi finds him! The Savage in the groups gets another, and I think we're close to calling it.
Oh, man. Ignore the Lord. They've got waves pushing in here. They'll take what they want. It's Hunger Games right now. Look at the replay here by SDC. Again, this was a fight that was not in favor of Falcons from start to finish. And the team fighting here by Onyx, again, just able to kind of dissect the fight.
Ludwig denied the Savage. I counted 5, but that's why it didn't come up because the 4th went to Lutpi and then Marco got cleaned up.
Well, you know, you can still take the Maniac, right? I mean,
and then the Savage from earlier in the tournament. But regardless, Falcons find themselves in an so familiar spot in this series. Onyx knocking down on their bases, waves coming in from all directions. Yeah. Down being almost double digits. Again, this is an 8,000 gold lead. Eminent.
Yeah, and they got a Lord coming up to that top side. Big item pickups here for Onyx too at this point. 12 minutes in. BOD for Kyrie. Divine Glaive for Sans. You know, again, it's just you've got these items locked in that you needed, and you're ready to go ahead and knock down some of these base turrets. So, Daytona's welcome.
And it's canceled by a golden hour. In comes the rest of them. Down goes Flap. Ogwen barely gets away. Pops that Purify to buy time after the top lane inhibitor crashes. So Falcons are just staunching the bleeding here. Feather Dash Strike coming in from Haji, blasting away those waves. And they will save mid lane inhibitor. Top lane still in jeopardy. Bottom up next on the docket to defend. Onyx looking to control the amount of bodies that they put underneath
Kyrie's
that.
hitting the base.
And Kyrie's just looking to burst it down. Ogwen looking for the punish. And Kyrie survives.
Okay, I guess Kyrie's like, you know what, if you guys are going to deal with the defense, I might as well just go ahead and hit the crystal a little bit here. So he does some damage to it, but they maintain 2 base turrets. It looks like Onyx wants to go again, though, because Lutfi's got a Flicker and a Daytona's welcome set up. He doesn't have many stacks. He's going to throw out the rockets here. Oh.
Eats up Ogwen. Answer with a Feathered Airstrike. That is a Shifting Skies lightning form by Flap. Lutfi put down 1/8 of his health. Keldra trying to do the same Kyrie was doing with the base, except on that lower inhibitor, does not find it. Falcons still keeping their eyes on the prize. At least we can say that the Philippines' last representative is just on point, keeping it on lockdown when it comes to the defense.
They hold it on, man. They have to. Again, even staring down this lead, this deficit that Falcons is against, almost 10,000. You know, they've only got a couple turrets that are down on the map to work with. They're nearly down to the last base turrets here. 2 stand for Falcons, and honestly, all these team fights have just been Onyx throughout. There's been a moment where you might be able to catch 1 or 2.
one side
Falcons just doesn't have the ability to win these team fights just yet. Something goes really wrong here for Onyx. There's so much vision provided that Onyx can just kind of take into this because, you know, you have control across the jungle. Your Lord's coming up here in 15. I would be surprised if Falcons tries to contest it.
Realistically speaking, the best thing that Falcons can hope for is a pickoff off of Onyx, but wait. They do force Ogwen here to back off. I think he held on to his Purify, so he is fine. I think Onyx are also looking for Falcons to slip up. They're looking for them to, you know, waste an ult here, waste a battle spell here, to confirm this Lord and to confirm the end. Oh, Detna's welcome answered by a Requiem here. Wings by wings back. So a couple of ults spent already, as well as the Feathered Airstrike.
Those are big ults that are expended by Falcons. I don't think you want to be anywhere near this Lord.
Whoa, big knock-up on Lutfi once again. He answers with Detna's welcome. Golden Hour trying to save that one target. And there's a Shifting Skies pushing back and splitting up on its attack. And they find Keldra, forced to back off. And now it's Lutfi up next. How has Falcons done this? He goes for the freeze, winner crown, Feathered Airstrike, and a big knock-up by Kyle. Keldra falls. Get up for Flap. Sans goes down as well. 2 for 1, make it 3. Yeah, Marco chasing Kyrie. And the wind of nature saves bulletproof Marco now inside the base. Kyrie wants to end it. He sees the base exposed to a couple minions.
Oh, he picks up immortality.
And now we go back to neutral. Ogwen looking to stop Kyrie from taking any more from Falcons. The ending tally 3 for 1, but the Lord is still inside Falcons base.
Okay, that was a fight. The Falcons ends up getting under their belt. They got to deal with this Lord. It's going to be cleared out. Good thing for Haji and Super Marco to be up there. Again, they're slowly but surely getting into a fighting position, but man, did that take some work. And also, some mistakes made by Onyx into that one. I mean, I guess they just, the Golden Hour threw them off. Even though the Feathered Airstrike came back off cooldown, that really helped Falcons. They got caught by Kyle's Spatial Migration, Requiem combo. So that'll keep Onyx in check.
Joseph, for the first time in about maybe 10 minutes, Kyle was able to taste the purple, and it was one he stole away from Kyrie. What's the most impressive out of this is the fact that no Purifies were spent by Falcons. So that means they were in the right spot at the right time for their positioning to matter and for them to split Onyx up like that. If this happens once more, if this is replicated some way, somehow by Falcons in this Lord pit spawning in the upper quarter about a minute and change from now, then say goodbye to this lead. I think that puts us at deadlock.
Yeah, it might just do that, and that's why now Onyx, they need to be a little more cautious on how they approach these fights. Obviously, you can see Super Marco online now on the Claude. You know, the ability to hold on to these Purifies are crucial for Falcons to flip this game over. They've done an amazing job holding on to the 2 base turrets, too, that they had to. Again, even seeing 2 Lords being secured by Onyx. They only lost that 1 base turret they maintain here. Now, they still have some time to go ahead and do something before this next Lord comes up, but that's why Onyx is just kind of playing the patient game.
Yep. Onyx are on Overwatch right now. You make the wrong move, get in range in the wrong spot, and it's over. It's a pick-off, and then next thing you know, Falcons can't even contest, can't even leave their base. So they're sending bodies here to try and confirm a slow push on this tier 1 down bottom. Onyx knows this. Onyx knows this. It's just they don't want to risk it yet because it's so close. Oh, what is this? Ogwin. All right, he holds on with Purify.
He did get the Thundering Wrath out here, so ultimate use, but again, that's short cooldown up to this point too. Sans will have that back up before they maybe commit to this Lord. A Guardian Helm picked up too by Kyrie again. You know, he hasn't died. He's very elusive. 10-0-2. Picked up the Immortality earlier on the Runaway, but now this Lord is up. Again, forget the gold lead that Onyx has. Falcons can fight this through. Kyle's going to jump forward, just checking out that bush. He sees Kyrie. Oh, so now it's fighting for the space around this Lord here.
Here we go. Some warning shots out of Marco on a Lutpi. Lutpi chunked down about a quarter of his health. Sets up.
Oh, Loopy.
Finds one. Answered by both. They feather airstrike gets them both, but Kyle falls first. Golden hour. In comes the rest of them. Shifting skies, but look at this from the side. Kelra and Marco dueling guns versus fists. Oh. And they are so close to taking down Flap. In comes Kyrie. Flap with the dash and back gets taken down. 2 out of the picture. For Falcons, Onyx can smell blood in the water.
They want to take down the base turrets now. Super Marco had to pop his Win of Nature with the pressure from Kelra onto that fight. So now backs against the wall. They want to stay in this game.
Feather Airstrike. Finally, mid lane inhibitor falls. Circling Eagle by Keyboy. Minutes away. Seconds, possibly from the end. And there's way too many minions. Onyx have delivered sweet revenge.
Okay, Onyx பார்த்தன வந்து win பண்ணிட்டாங்க. இந்த மேட்ச் எனக்கு என்ன சொல்றதுக்கு இல்ல. மேட்ச் நேத்து வந்து அடிச்சாங்க. இன்னைக்கு வந்து அடி வாங்கினாங்க இன்னைக்கு அடிக்கிறாங்க.
And this one was definitely Onyx time.
This confirms Onyx's 3rd place finish in a difference of $100,000 in the bank for both teams. GG well played, the team of Falcons of PH.
Man, again, for the Falcons fans out there and the Filipino fans rooting for that last representative of MSC from the Philippines. Tough loss here to see that just kind of unfold the way that it did, but as has been MSC, you know, this year, probably the biggest and most surprising MSC we've had. And even this one, you know, this series, when a lot of people thought this would potentially be the grand final, well, you know, I don't know if Falcons was ready for this. Onyx definitely came in with a game plan. They executed it very well. I feel like even Falcons tried adjusting game to game to game, but unfortunately, it was just a little bit too late in this one. Leo, this one definitely could have been a case where maybe they turned it around enough, maybe they got a game under the belt, but Onyx really responded well. Kelra was a big part of this. Again, getting that Win of Nature, putting that pressure on Super Marco, as Super Marco was the main point of contention for Falcons in these fights, but it's just too much to deal with, I guess, from Onyx.
Onyx just had that much of a lead that they were able to use that space and time to be able to get into better positions to threaten Falcons' imminent comeback. If this game lasted maybe 5 minutes longer, then maybe we would be going into game number 4. But as it stands, Onyx are locked in and they want history to go a certain direction. Already we're entering an age of uncertainty and massive change in MLBB esports. What more? A flip on the script from the M5 World Championship.
And I think, you know, as we saw this one unfold, history will rewrite itself later on. But right now, we're going to throw it over on stage with Rose and I believe Kelra for an interview.
in this third placer match. Onyx comes out on top in a sort of rematch up against Team Falcons Philippines. And of course, right now on stage, we are with none other than the gold standard, Kelra. Hello, Kelra. How are you?
Congratulations.